Hi, and welcome to, if you like, part two of how does God use difficult times and times of isolation? What do we learn from those times? I gave you a couple in the last video. If you missed that, then by all means go back and have a look at that one. But today I want to be looking at a couple of other points that we learned from Elijah. So hope you're doing well out there. Let's just look at the next part of the story that we were looking at last time, 1 Kings chapter 17. And we go on to after Elijah's confronted the terrible King Ahab and has gone and hid himself by the brook and has been fed by ravens and so on. We find a situation where the brook runs dry. So I'm reading from 1 Kings 17 and from verse 7. It says, "Sometime later the brook dried up because there had been no rain in the land, and the word of the Lord came to him, go at once to Zarephath of Sidon and stay there. I've commanded a widow in that place to supply you with food." So he went to Zarephath. When he came to the town gate, a widow was there gathering sticks. He called her and asked, "Would you give me a little water in a jar so I may have a drink?" As she was going to get it, he called, "And bring me, please, a piece of bread." "As sure as the Lord your God lives," she replied, "I don't have any bread, only a handful of flour in a jar and a little oil in a jug. I'm getting a few sticks to take home and make a meal for myself and my son, that we may eat it and die." Serious times. Empty shelves. We know some of that, don't we? Elijah said, no, this was serious stuff. Elijah said to her, "Don't be afraid. Go home and do as you've said. But first, make a small cake of bread for me from what you have and bring it to me, and then make something for your son. For this is what the Lord your God of Israel says, the jar of flour will not be used up, and the jug of oil will not run dry until the day the Lord gives rain on the land." Well, okay. How amazing is that? The woman goes and she does as Elijah says, and she finds that that's exactly what happens. But amazingly, she did give him the bread first, and so on. The next point that I want to take out of the 4 points, third point, what you learn in one season sets you up for the next. What you learn in one season sets you up for the next. You see, Elijah had been fed miraculously by these ravens, as I said, not a nice thought to me, but he was fed. He'd seen God come through for him when there was no other way, where it was impossible. There was no way he could get food. But God provided. We would have said, when the brook dried up, hang on a minute, why is God not miraculously providing for that brook to keep going? He sent me here. I must have done something wrong. What's going on? No, the season just changed. The season had changed. Elijah, I want you out of here now. Time for ministry. Time for ministry, Elijah. I tell you, church, that time's coming. That time's coming. Elijah meets a widow who's gathering sticks to make a final meal from the meagre amount that she has. Then her sons and her are going to die. "Cook for me first," he says. "Provide for me first, and God will provide for you." And you see, what faith Elijah has. This woman's got nothing, next to nothing. What faith he has. You do this, he says, and God will provide for you. And it's not going to run out. It won't run out. How does he know? How does he know? He knows because God has provided for him. He's seen it. He's just been through a time of provision. And when you see God provide through difficult times, when you go through those times where you think, I just don't know how God's going to come through for me in this. I haven't got the financial or whatever resources to get through this. I don't know. I haven't got the emotional resources, the mental resources. I can't do this, God. And God comes through for you. When you come to the next situation, if you've remembered your testimony, if you like, of what you've been through, if you remembered, yeah, God came through for me once before on that, then you have faith for the next thing. Bringing up 5 children, as we did, on one wage packet was a challenge. I admit I often found it hard during that time to trust God that he was going to come through for us. And I used to be very concerned. And there was times when I used to make the sandwiches for the children, often, and for us. And Elizabeth often said, there's hardly any filling in these sandwiches, but there's nothing there. Because I was so trying to cut down on what we were using that there wasn't a lot in there. It was mostly bread and a little bit of filling, And I had to get over that. I had to go through that and see how God had provided. We actually found the verse in Psalm 37 that says, once I was young and now I'm old, but I've never seen the godly abandoned or their children begging for bread. That was something we stood on by faith. God, we're not going to see our children abandoned. They will not be begging for bread. He never abandoned us. I tell you, he never abandoned us. What's God done for you in the past? Remember it. Have faith. That's your testimony. Remember how God came before you, through for you in that area. Sorry. Okay, fourth point, last point. Each difficult situation, when it's overcome, gives us faith in that area. See, Elijah has seen God provide miraculously, and so he speaks with confidence. And now he's got faith in that area, he's grown in that area, he knows God will provide for him. But then God moves him on to the next growth point. We never stay static. Do you realise that? God takes us through one thing and we learn something. He says, right, you've got that now. You know I'll provide for you, Elijah. You know whatever happens, I can provide for you and I can provide for other people at your work. But now, what's the next thing? And if you read the story on, you find out he's faced by the death of the widow's son. And she has no faith. What are you doing to me, Elijah? Why have you now killed my son? Or whatever. It's your God killed my son. And Elijah goes and prays to God and says, God, it's almost like he's saying, God, have you killed this son? What's going on? He hasn't got the faith that God is going to raise his son up. But he gets into prayer. And he moves into another level of knowing, yes, God, you are going to heal this child. And he hands the child back to the woman. See, your son is alive. Who's God to you now? Who is God to you at this moment? What have you got faith for? What has God? Where have you seen God come through in the past? So now the next question: what area of faith are you challenged in at the moment? Seek Him in that area, and you'll grow in that area of faith. What's challenging you about what we're going through at the moment? It's a challenge for all of us. I'm challenged. We're all challenged. It's not easy. How are we going to grow through this? What are we going to come out learning? We will come out stronger. We will come out with glory and joy and such a hunger to be together and to worship together. Yeah, I miss the church. And I don't mean the building, because we haven't got our own. I miss being with you guys. I miss worshipping God together. I miss being in that place of connection. The time will come. The time will come. Let's rejoice and let's stay strong. Let's learn in this season what God has for us. God bless you.